Hello and welcome to Ledgercast. My name is Brian Krogsgaard here with Josh Olswich. Hey, Josh.
Mr. Brian, always good to be here. A couple weeks hiatus, I think.
Yeah, we did take a couple weeks hiatus, but the markets did not take a hiatus whatsoever. They look pretty good, and we're going to talk about it. Before we do, I was just going to say, this show no longer carries a sponsor. By choice, our long-term sponsors, Mancha and Token Sets, we're very appreciative of them. But we decided to go solo. If we do talk about something in the future, it'll just probably be my own app at flip.art. You can check out the alpha if you join our Telegram. Just go search for Flipmetrics in Telegram or go to t.me/flipmetrics and you can get access to flip.art. It's NFT intelligence. It's relevant, insightful, and actionable. We're here to shill our own bags now, Josh. And that's what we'll do. I won't spend much time on it. We did a little bit in the pre-show, but just wanted to talk about it. We released our first thing, and it'll be into a completely free and available to everyone version pretty soon once we hit beta. But while we're in this little alpha stage, we just want our friends helping us test. So if you join the Telegram and help us get feedback, you can come test it with us. All right. Hey, man.
You said we were shilling our bags. You meant your bags. That's fine. I just want to clarify.
Is there a difference?
No, it's fine. Yeah, markets are popping off. I saw a bunch of people like selling ETH yesterday, selling BTC. It's like, guys, we're in like the second inning of this run right now. Like, chill out, take a breather. I'm ready for 10K ETH. 100K BTC. That's just kind of where I think we're going.
I mean, it's interesting because, 64.9-ish was the prior all-time high. The Coinbase top, little wick, and then what caused months and months of pain. That was April 14th. Bitcoin spent one day above that, and then since has been putting together what, at least in my mind, seems like a kind of classic bull flag. Rode up off the lows from 40K to 66, 67K, and then tested back down all the way to 57. So the all-time high breakout buyers got wrecked to the tune of about $10,000. And now it's just doing this kind of flag situation, consolidation, whatever you want to call it. At the same time, Ethereum is just making its kind of first foray into all-time high lands. Really on the current daily, I guess, right, Josh? And maybe a little bit yesterday, depends on how you look at it. But yeah, I mean, market looks pretty good. I don't see anything to be afraid of. No real signal of like fake out, breakout, or anything like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I can't remember which show or day I said this on, but ETH is definitely going. It's going to 6 at least. I am 100% confident on that. Based on the cup and handle nonsense that's currently in motion, the inverted head and shoulders and the handle here, like this, there's all sorts of reasons why this needs to go higher. Just based on technicals, fundamentals, I could honestly care less about EIP 1559. It's great that they had its first deflationary day, full day. The other day,
whole day was deflationary.
Whole day.
Is that purely because of people aping SHIB?
I don't know the reasoning behind it. I can try to pull up the tweet, but you can't, it's hard to be bearish on that when fees are insanely high, burns are insanely high, people are using the chain. I don't think DeFi is necessarily going to benefit from that initially.
Oh man, the DeFi bear market continues. Some of those coins are just brutal. I was looking
just to get back to ETH real quick, 1 sec. 6K is the measured move. It's the midline of this. MA multiplier, 10K is the top. If it gets anywhere near 10, 11, I'm out. See you next cycle. 10, or short.
10 or 11K Ethereum. I mean, that's like Lionel Moansworthy, isn't it?
That's what worthy?
I said Lionel Moansworthy. So
I don't know what that is.
Lionel Richie. It's a saying my friend Rob says. I'm sorry. It's
okay.
10 or 11K ETH is insane. Like but that's where your MA multiplier is, right?
Yeah, by the time it gets there, it's probably going to be above 11.
Yeah.
And really, if we do break 6.5, it's very, 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 very likely it reaches for the other edge of that, the actual 5x multiplier from the bottom.
Man, that is.
But you can backtest this on any coin, anything. Backtest it on stocks. Backtest it on Tesla. Tesla's ripping this week. So yeah, it looks good to me. Honestly, I don't think there's anything to be worried about. I wouldn't get worried until it probably breaks 2.5. If it breaks 2,500, then I think you start to get a little bit worried. But
that's a long way down. It's not. Don't FUD my bag saying they're going to 2,500. I don't even want three. Well, don't even show me 3K. Come on, what are you talking about?
It's just always good to know when you're going to be in trouble, because yesterday on VTC we had that candle. Let me pull up a better chart. Hold on. We had that candle where it was like somebody was dumping something somewhere, and the markets went nuts for like 5 seconds. Just on classic.
I've got it on my low time frame chart. Okay. It went all the
classic
way back.
Shenanigans.
Went all the way back to like my breakout level, the complacency top post Coinbase. So on my chart, that was kind of like where it broke down from when it made its first lower high after the Coinbase top. And that has been kind of my go-to zone to think about. And then, yeah, it's basically where it went. If you were to see what happened the other day, and it just happened in like 5 minutes. I mean, it was so fast. It looked like it showed up in one order on Coinbase pretty much.
Yeah, Coinbase gapped down on the minute chart. I didn't pull it up on the second.
It was like 1 second. It was less. It gapped down several $1,000s in 1 second. Low Strife had a picture of it.
Yeah. So obviously, if you're on leverage, that's not good. But seeing that gives me hope that we go higher. I'd much rather see that than the opposite direction, where we spike to 75K real quick and then just drop all the way back down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Shiba, whatever, flipped Doge, and this thing is in. I don't even know what to call this. Mega price exploration, and I'm looking at it on low time frames right now. It looks really good again. After
this cycle's BitConnect, that's all it is.
It went up 166% after it went up some enormous amount in the month of October. But just in the latest move, it did 5 days. It went up 166% or so. And now I'm looking at it, and it's like, this looks like a buy to me. This looks like the type of thing that people started to short. I know they were shorting it when it blew the lid off.
Well, they did. They definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the funding was
insane.
Yeah.
And now people think they're going to get in for the easy mode short, and it looks like it's going to just rip them to pieces here. I mean, this looks like the type of thing that I need to go buy right this second.
I ain't touching that. Hey, you guys have fun.
I mean, it's hyper liquid, isn't it?
Well, what's going to end up happening with stuff like that is it's just going to dump, and it's going to go against you. I mean, yeah, you can make tons of money on this if you trade it actively and you're paying attention. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer or anything, but
it is the number 9 market cap coin right now. $41 billion market cap, liquid. I don't know what the fully diluted is or anything, but it's
just goes to show you fundamentals mean absolutely nothing.
Josh, it's done $16 billion of volume in 24 hours.
Yeah, but you're on CoinMarketCap, right?
CoinGecko. CoinGecko.
How much of that is Binance? Or Bybit?
4.9 billion on Binance, but 2.3 billion on just the Coinbase SHIB USD pair. 2.3 billion.
I mean, Coinbase went down the other day. Coinbase, the app, is number 1 in the App Store. So all that's not great for this cycle, but I don't know. I'm not worried about it. Maybe I should be, but I'm not.
On Coinbase right this moment, plus or minus 2% depth is $5.6 million. No, $7 million to the upside. Yeah. $6 to $7 million for 2% depth liquidity. Like, you can go in that sucker with size, and that's on Coinbase.
A lot of bones.
Mm-hmm. Is it bad that I just want to trade this right now? Like, I just want to like open up an app and start trading this sucker.
Is it an ERC20? What is it? I know nothing about it.
I think it started on Binance, and it has a lot of liquidity on Ethereum. I think it's what caused Ethereum to be deflationary. I will pull up ultrasound money. Yeah.
Somebody was asking about BTC Cloud. Cloud looks fine on everything. Cloud looks great on ETH as well.
Yeah, so in the last 7 days, 2,500 ETH were burned because specifically to the Shiba Inu token, which I imagine that means like just in transfers from it. 5,000 ETH over the last 30 days. Yeah.
It's basically a never-ending ICO that's decentralized and a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme. It's everything.
Oh, it's Shiba Swap. Okay. I don't know how it works. I just know that people are FOMOing in. They're enjoying themselves. And it's made gas very expensive. I spent $1,000 on a transaction fee the other day.
I saw that.
But it was a trade that I really, really wanted to make. So I was like, well, I guess I'm sucking it up because... And it was the right thing because then the thing that I was buying, which was Curve, went up a lot. So it was worth it. But, man, pretty brutal.
What's the... there it is. I mean, we can go through how to, like, analyze this if you're trading it. I would focus on hourly or 4-hour timeframes for sure. I wouldn't even pay attention to the daily because by the time you're going to get a signal off that, it's going to go against you anyway. Yeah, on the hourly cloud, this is what you want to see. You want to see this bullish TK cross with the price above cloud. What this will probably end up doing, which is what ETH is in the like active phases of, is cup and handling or something like that. Into end of month or whatever. Oh, but yeah, the good thing is it's the hourly, so all of this is going to happen super quickly. Like this could happen over the next 6 hours. Yeah. As far as like the cup and handle stuff. And then from there, you could just measure high to low. That gives you this zone up here. Well, I don't even know what this is. Cents, whatever. Whatever you call that.
Yeah. An equal high on it is like a 16% move right now.
Well, that's 36%, 30 to 35 to 50% from current price. If you're like, want to get super risky about it. The best entry is always going to be the breakout here, which nobody loves. Nobody wants to wait for that. And you see it in the charts because it usually just shoots right through it. But you're probably going to see that is my guess.
I mean, I'm basically thinking about just breaking every rule in my book right now. Like I've got a good chunk of Bitcoin on multiple exchanges, and then there are exchanges where Shiba Inu is also available. And I was like, I told myself I'm not trading this Bitcoin the rest of the year, and now I'm about to change my mind and go day trade Shiba Inu. Like the momentum is just taking over here. I mean. So
I've said this before about a lot of other stuff, but if I trade this and lose a single cent, then I just feel like the dumbest person alive. So I just don't even bother because I know better. And if I'm trading it, I'm just buying it and holding it. Like I'm not going to actively trade this. There's no chance.
Oh, dude, there's no way I'd buy and hold this. I'd dump this all over people as soon as it seems appropriate.
Well, yeah, if this breaks out, like I would buy here and hold it until the breakout or just, let it go to zero, honestly.
See, in my head, I'm buying it right here at 7,500 fractions of a dollar. It looks like it's part of a dollar, but it looks like sats. It's like 0.0.
Well, that's why I got confused because I'm like, is this
7,542 dollars.
What's the Yeah, it looks just like sats. That's the scary part.
It's like Shiba to a penny is like a freaking 100x from here or something.
Well, like you already said, there are issues with this in a bull market for other stuff because it pulls all the liquidity.
It
This is
pulls
the Binance volume. Like,
it,
look at this.
it pulls all the liquidity. It sucks the air out of the market. And then like Shiba is going to end up with a $400 billion market cap.
It pulls the attention. It pulls the market makers' attention. They have to like market make this now.
I mean, somebody's saying dog coins are done. You cannot look at this and tell me this is done. Like if this was Bitcoin right now, I'd be absolutely ecstatic. Bitcoin kind of looks like this on a 4-hour time frame, but this is a 30-minute chart. Like I am hyped for this chart. I'm sorry. I just am. What am I supposed to do about it?
My mind's telling me no. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. It looks really good. It's just not for me. You know,
Yeah,
it's just not for me.
It's about to be for me. I need to do some math in my head because I've held that Bitcoin for a while. So like, I really did not want to take any tax implications for the rest of the year. But we'll see. All right, let's get back to non Shiba. So, I mean, Ethereum looks pretty good. It's doing a minor drawdown here on tiny time frames, but like if you look on the daily, it looks like the 2017 fractal redo. And what happened then is it consolidated for a bit after the breakout and kind of lulled people, and then went absolutely bananas. Bitcoin looks like it's flagging, looks freaking fantastic. Outside of that, though, most DeFi stuff has been pretty slow. Curve looks okay, but if you look at like DeFi broadly, you know, we've talked about that DeFi perp chart a good bit, and like it's on the precipice of doom. Almost.
Well, what happened
almost
with
lows.
1inch this week?
I think it was an upbit listing, so some kind of Korean thing.
Okay.
So it was an exchange listing that turned out not to be bearish. But if you look at DeFi perp versus the dollar, like it doesn't look bad. It just looks like it's at some weekly resistance.
DeFi perp on the dollar chart looks like sheep to me.
Like
I just see cup and handle, triple bottom, whatever on everything. Everything
but
looks
on the daily, yeah.
Everything looks like it's ready for higher highs to me.
Yeah,
On USD pairs, but not BTC and ETH pairs.
The struggle with that is, and I can't find it right this moment, but I was pointing at it earlier today on the internet, was like Wi-Fi versus ETH. Here it is. Like it's just pure death.
Well, yeah, but that's any chart.
Any DeFi versus ETH. So like, why would you, if DeFi looks okay, why would you not just hold ETH? Because this is what we've been seeing, and maybe it's bottoming, but it's no proof of reversal. That's for sure. Like you're just hunting for a bottom on Wi-Fi in particular, but that's kind of the worst of them.
Look at the USD charts and compare them. Would you rather be holding something that's getting ready to break out, like ETH USD, or would you rather be holding any DeFi thing that's just kind of sideways? Like it's
bad.
Wing, it's double bottoming.
Yeah, but it's hideous.
But I wouldn't.
Compared to this, it's like absolutely not. Like this
weekly. Yeah, it's not pre-breakout. It's not in price discovery.
This weekly ETH chart looks like it's ready to put in a very large green candle.
Yeah, it looks really good. So of course, like now's not the time to rotate into it, but I think you need to get your mindset if you are going to be rotating. Like, what levels am I going to be rotating? What percentages? What size? How much? ETH, like position-wise, do I want to keep in USD versus risking DeFi? Because the worst thing that could happen is you make a ton of money on ETH USD and then you rotate into DeFi, it doesn't go anywhere, it dumps against you, and then you lose it all. Right? Like that's the nightmare. I don't think that's going to happen because it usually doesn't happen like that. DeFi or alts or whatever else usually does have a run, but if Shiba's taking all the liquidity out of the room, then I don't know, because fundamentals for DeFi are amazing, but that's not going to move price. It never has, never will. Sorry, I've been looking at this for a while now. There's no argument for that. It's all speculation. And if the speculation isn't there on DeFi because ETH is too expensive or people just aren't trading it, then price isn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Yep. I don't disagree. I was actually hoping Bitcoin would just like take over, but it's not really proving to do that. Ethereum's moving with it. Some random stuff is moving with it. But other than those things, it seems like you have time to wait. Like ETH will probably move before DeFi. And
definitely.
Yeah. So you can, if you're eventually looking for DeFi exposure, you want something different than just Bitcoin, you just do ETH for now and then go DeFi would be probably the way to look at that. Or
I know we just
back to layer ones or whatever. I don't know. Like,
oh, ETH 100%. ETH is pre-breakout. It's like end of story. Like
no,
that is the thing to be trading.
I'm saying after ETH, but like when I look at all the like Solana and stuff, they still look good, but they on that down candle the other day, they got smashed pretty good and kind of put them back in the range. And I just think those want to be in the range for a bit. But if after ETH and BTC do their moves, which they may go simultaneously, I do think we're going to get another chance at like some of these altcoin trades, layer ones and DeFi, etc. You're looking at Doge.
I agree. No, I was looking at the heat map on Coin360. I was like, why is Doge down 6% today?
Oh,
I don't know if it's people rotating into SHIB or what, but SHIB is up 12%. Doge down 6%. But yeah, fundamentals don't matter for any of this stuff. I wish they did. It would make trading them much easier.
Yeah.
More data, more power, but it's all about the technicals.
I saw a chart, not a chart, a meme. It was a picture of somebody like with the big brain Wojak or whatever, and it was like it's talking about how, you know, the smart person's analysis of crypto, what's important and why it will go up, and then the one below it was like the caveman version of the Wojak, and it was like, Dogcoin good. It's just like that's just kind of where we are. You just don't get that. Just the fundamentals just do not matter. The momentum is just seemingly the only thing that anybody's paying attention to, including myself wanting to FOMO SHIB like 2 seconds ago.
And you could say the same about Tesla and GME too, because GME to me looks amazing. This thing looks ready to rip. Technicals aren't going to look good because it's basically flat, but if this doesn't break down as a head and shoulders, this thing is going higher for sure.
It's the fact that it's just that it even stayed elevated.
Exactly. Like, how is it here this long? It's done nothing since March. So that to me is a really good sign.
Yeah. And then Tesla like went to its prior highs and then broke out and then spent all week just continuing to go up. It's $1,100. $1,100.
Yeah. And the reason I'm even bringing this up is because we do need like some euphoria mania to help us in
Tesla was Tesla was $70 at the March 2020 lows. So post COVID, Tesla goes from $70 to $1,100.
And that thing has garbage fundamentals, right? But nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Like, look at this on linear, man. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. And that's stocks.
Yeah, I mean, I love the car. The car is great. The company is trash. Sorry, whoever's trying to refute that, but yeah, the car is trash. Here's how it looks on the multiplier, or the company's trash. My bad. The car is great. Problem is they can't produce enough of them that don't have problems, and they don't have materials for it. Fin. End of story. Yeah. Anyway, this is the MA multiplier. So this thing could go to 3K. Could you imagine?
No way. I'd be coping.
Yeah.
That's it's absolutely stunning to me.
It's just kind of, well, I guess 3K is much. It's never actually touched the multiplier. So 1721 is kind of going to be the high probably, but definitely looks good for more. As crazy as it looks here.
I'm doing that thing where I look at all the charts in linear, and it's a very dangerous thing to do.
I mean, this looks like how ETH should look, honestly. In a couple days, ETH should have one of these candles. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm certainly trading it like that. So
Long and strong, baby.
yeah, looks good. But we need this roofing and not dumping is basically the bottom line.
I mean, ETH on the weekly, the high was like 3,900. So it's already kind of 10% above the weekly closing high. And that confirmation this weekend will be hugely bullish for a continuation candle. So you could we're at, say, 4,400 a day. You could see ETH 6K like next week. It can easily move that fast.
I agree.
People don't want to hear it.
It's pre-breakout. I can only say it so many times. Like, I don't get hyped. That's not who I am. But I don't know. What are you gonna do? Trade the coin, make the money. There's your hype, right? Spend it on good, fun stuff. That's all I got. That's all I got to say about ETH. Honestly, it looks as good as it's ever looked. Like we said that 2 weeks ago. We said that every week on Monday. Set up Monday.
Yeah. Like, can we take another look at ETH BTC?
Yeah, I was talking about this with some other people this week. It sort of morphed from an inverted Adam and Eve into something less bearish, I guess. I'm not going to say anything more bullish about it than that. But
I mean, I had talked about that breakdown of the 20, the fact that it reclaimed it. Typically that's extraordinarily bullish. So like this again, the ETF came, it was the generational trading event that Bitcoin looks good, but it didn't like instantly just suck a bunch of Bitcoin into it because it wasn't a physical ETF. And it appears that from a demand perspective, people use that as an opportunity to start rotating back to Ethereum. And
hold on. Let's calm down here. Do you realize there's 40 more ETFs potentially getting approved?
But they're all 40. Futures. They're all futures.
40. I don't care if they're freaking. I don't care what they are, right?
There was even one.
40 more.
There was 40. There was even a leveraged one and an inverse one.
Yeah, the leverage is never going to get approved. And I hope the inverse one gets approved. I hope because that would be just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, the chat, young Mr. SA, says
young Mrs. A. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Or young MRSA, like young the infection.
All right, we'll just go with young.
Okay.
Young in the chat says that there's some physical ETS up for approval or disapproval in December. And I would say I'm not confident about those. However, as Puffy Peacock says, Australia approved a spot ETF. So, some countries are doing it. And it does seem like an inevitability to me. Since the ETF was approved, GBTC has outperformed the futures ETF. So that's interesting. The discount is getting repriced a little bit on GBTC. It's like the launch of the ETF was kind of like the bottom. That's kind of the version of the sell the news event.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about GBTC. The problem is they can use the money that they've collected in fees to just buy back anything at any time. Yeah. So it's hard to like predict what they're going to do. Like, are they going to appease investors? Are they going to try to go to BTC ETF conversion route, which is what they're trying to do? Is that actually going to happen? Probably not. What does that mean for the premium discount? What does it mean for MSTR on all this? Like, I know a lot of people are still trading MSTR. Do people view MSTR as a spot BTC ETF instead of like the futures stuff that we have now? I don't know.
Well, the premium on that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I just don't know what goes through people's heads when they're like, yeah, let me buy GBTC over BTC, or let me buy the ETF over MSTR. Like, I don't know. Yeah, MSTR looks great to me. If BTC keeps going, I think MSTR will easily break 800 for sure.
I have not even looked at it, but looking at it now, it's pretty wild. I thought I was not in log. I thought I was in linear. It's in fact in log. I'm just on this weekly chart, but yeah, it looks.
I mean, that looks like a massive flag with the inverted head and shoulders in the middle of it, right? Like, yeah. It looks great.
It just looks like a huge pump where the moving average is finally caught up and it enables it to go again.
It's had a year to go sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are the 40 ETFs.
That's a
So are
lot.
any of them like individually going to move the needle? No. Are like 20 of them going to move the needle? Maybe. Certainly not. Probably not that many are going to get approved. But see, half of these are
All the ones up top.
futures. Are the coin based ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which probably
Coin-based,
won't.
all the ones on the top 1933 Act. And then the futures
Probably
ones
not getting approved.
right. Grayscale,
Yeah.
Bitwise, VanEck, Galaxy, Fidelity. Those are the biggest ones that I always. Valkyrie. Those are the ones I usually hear about the most.
Yeah, and these ETH ETFs probably never getting approved.
I think a ETH futures ETF is going to get approved really quickly.
Yes, that is fine. I don't think they want to approve anything until ETH goes 2.0 though. That's just my opinion. I think too much can go wrong. So yeah, that's bullish for us, right?
Yeah.
Crypto Ted in the chat talking about Coinbase as well. Their chart looks great.
I haven't looked at it in a while.
Wow, bro. Here's the visualization for ETH's deflationary day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're burning a lot of fees. Still, I don't know. Should we sound more hyped? Do I sound like I'm like blasé about it all?
No.
I feel like we're just kind of like, yeah, you know, everybody's
just another day. Just another day at all-time highs.
It kind of is. It kind of is another day. That's why I'm just like, whatever.
I think what's interesting about it is that
yeah, we are just vibing.
Yeah, since February, like when I guess Bitcoin topped in May, but yeah, no, April. But honestly, this whole, like, it really peaked in terms of people freaking out in February when it went to 57. And then it was kind of these like big dumps, a little bit higher, big dump, a little bit higher, top. So I mean, Bitcoin pricing is not blowing my mind from like 8 months ago, you know? It was just kind of a recovery to that point. So I feel like we're just chilling here before, like, it's the type of thing where you could have a very, very, very bullish month and move to 90 or 100K very quickly as the breakout becomes super obvious. Same for Ethereum. Ethereum was at 4K in May. So it's been, gosh, how many days? Let's talk about that. Ethereum has been in consolidation, sideways, or drawdown, or mini bear market, or whatever you want to call it, for 172 days. That's a lot of days. That's a lot of days not to really have significant new highs. So like nobody is going to be surprised for this to 250 days or so for Bitcoin. Nobody is going to be surprised. It's not, the numbers are not going to shock people. And that the wider the base, the longer the race, or something like that. I can't remember. I can't remember the term. You normalize the prices for long enough, and then it gives it much more upside.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like my mood was definitely different. February, March, as far as like, it was just nonstop news, nonstop hype, nonstop spec on like this company's getting in, this company's getting in. Here, it's just like maybe ETF's cool. You know, I don't know.
There was a, what was it? Like some kind of Korean fund thing.
That's old hat though. That's expected that we're getting, what is it? Not mutual funds, but retirement funds and like that firefighter fund or whatever they got in the other day. It's just like, yeah, everybody's doing that now, right?
Yeah.
Korea teachers pension, somebody saying?
We say that about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but you look at like Solana and it's 10x off its lows from spring and summer. So I have a hard time feeling that's where the upside is. I feel like the upside is in the majors, right? Like the real majors, not the new majors.
I hope so, because that's how I'm positioned. And I agree with you. But that thing doesn't look bad.
Of course it doesn't look bad. I'm not trying to say it looks bad. I'm just saying it's not. If something's up 6,000% relative to BTC since on the year, I can't be there.
I agree. I agree. But people who are like soul maxis or whatever don't hear that. They hear, you don't think my coin's going to infinity. You're bearish.
No, I'm telling you, it's at infinity.
No. I'm a maxi. I'm a soul maxi. I'm just role playing here. They're telling you it's going further. It's going 12,000%, right? This is what the SHIB people are saying. It's going higher. I already got my 6,000%. I want 18,000%.
And it could. It could. It's not as comfy for me versus I look at the consolidation and the breakout potential in Ethereum and Bitcoin. And it's like, I'm okay being in majors.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I've said that. I've been saying that. Like, it's easier for me to trade something that isn't up 1,000% in a week, right?
Yeah.
Something else that we should probably just look at every time we chat is the on-chain hodl wave thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who don't know what this is, how this works is we can look at every coin that's ever moved, and we can look at how old it was up until the point it moved. And you can sort of read into the psychology of the hodlers, the masses, if you will. Generally, as price goes higher, everybody has a number. I don't know. What's your number? What's your number where you sell everything? I mean everything. What's your number?
250.
That was my number. 250
Really?
was my number. See how that works? It's weird. A lot of people, and you can see that on the chart, a lot of people's numbers are kind of the same, from top to bottom. And that's how tops get put in, because more people start selling or moving the coin. So these fills down here, these colored fills, represent the amount of coins as a percentage that have moved in the past 6 months. So as we go higher, we start to see more and more coins move on chain. And you can see this already picking up slowly in the 1 day, 1 week to 3 month.
But the top is not in until that reaches a higher, makes a new high.
Right. So based on backtesting, which is limited data, blah, 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 but this is what we have. Essentially, when it gets about 50% of the chain moving in the past 6 months, that has represented the actual all-time high. So currently we're at less than 30% probably. But to see us slowly grinding up, I think is actually really bullish, because that means there's some activity picking up on chain.
Yeah.
So we have some time. Go ahead.
Several good things to talk about from chat. Crypto had said, Ledger, I'm buying Shiba. Same Ledger. Can't buy Solana. It's up too much. The difference is I'm talking about Solana on like daily and weekly time frames, and I'm looking at Shiba on a 30-minute chart. So that's like, I might hold it for 5 minutes or I might hold it for 5 hours, but probably not 5 days. As a note, when I'm talking about Shiba in that regard, I would not tell anyone. I wouldn't call it financial advice because nothing on this podcast is, but it's almost financial advice to say don't buy Shiba for investment purposes.
Yeah, by long term, I mean buying it today and selling it on Sunday. Like that's long term.
That's
SHIB holding.
That's long term SHIB holding. Somebody said, wasn't your sell everything number 44K? And the answer to that is that was my be very careful number after we went sub 30. And that was because that was when you get back to the 200-day moving average, the underside of previous support turned resistance, and I just monitored it closely there, but it wasn't necessarily to say like take no risk. It was to be able to manage my risk better, and that passed quite a while ago, and I documented that pretty clearly. There was another question too. I can't remember. Why not take your SHIB profit and leave a moon bag? And the answer is because it is beyond the moon right now. There's no new place for it to go. It is on Saturn.
Yeah, but the counter to that is if you make 2x your money and you take out your initial, right? If you sell two half on a double, that's a win, right? Then at that point, if it goes to zero, I'm personally comfortable just letting it wither away, but that's not for everybody, you know?
I'm not, because
I'm also not
I like to
throwing
maximize
in,
my rotations, if you will. So like I want to like snipe the top or something.
yeah, but I'm also not throwing in six figures in that stuff. I would never, I couldn't. It would make me sick to do that. Um, so yeah, if I'm throwing in less than six figures and I get half on a, or sell half on a double, sure, that's fun.
Come on. Have fun. Live a little.
Yeah, it's just not for me. So yeah, that's hodl waves. That's why those are important. The other two I like to look at are MVRV and Puel, which are just, again, on-chain stuff. And all those are both telling you we have plenty of room for upside here. But if we start to get squirrely at 100K, then I'm definitely paying heavily attention to this, because we're going to mimic what happened in 2017. Is that what this was? No, sorry, 2013. We're actually mimicking 2013 probably more than 2017 at this point. We had that double bubble.
Can I annoy you a little bit and talk about dominance?
Yeah, that's fine. That's less annoying than NFTs, I'm sure.
I still think like it's not a sure thing that Bitcoin doesn't just take over. The dominance chart, it looks like it's trying to stabilize. And I just look at all of the air from where they are down for a lot of those large layer one type alts that went really, really high. If Bitcoin really does move, if ETH and Bitcoin move together, there's probably going to be random other altcoins that move even faster. But if either ETH or Bitcoin take over, I could imagine one of them being the one that's kind of suck the air out of the room instead. It's been a long time since Bitcoin really did that, and a lot of people have forgotten how much pain you can experience when like your bag goes down 50% while Bitcoin doubles. I would still really love to see that. I'm positioned that way. I have started to get some additional positioning in Ethereum, but like still maintaining the vast majority of my exposure maintained on kind of a Bitcoin basis. But I always like to pay attention when this dominance chart starts to dance around the moving averages kind of coming together, like the 20 and the 200 day. Because even if you don't look at strict price levels, I do think you look at dominance relative to kind of a smoothed out moving average, it becomes interesting because it's more of a visual of the trend over time and like where people are psychologically, you know, like how many days in a row have they been underperforming or overperforming Bitcoin.
Well, people always want alt season, and it's been alt season
For a year.
Like, yeah, since November. Like
literally a year.
It's okay. It's okay if something else does well, you know?
Yeah, like alts from a dollar standpoint, really, they started going up significantly in November. From a dominant standpoint, January 1st, alts took over and didn't let go. So like, what do you want?
Well, that's why we're saying like Shib's on the moon, Sol's on the moon.
This was
Terra's on the moon.
This was
FTM's on the moon.
Yeah. This was dominance on January 2nd, like January 1st, January 2nd, around 73. It's at 45 right now. You can see what happened when Bitcoin took over last September. You know, does that not look a little bit like what we have right now? Moves up, down a little bit, then a little sideways, right around the moving averages, and then go for it.
That chat and YouTube is what's called pareidolia.
What's pareidolia?
I don't think seeing things that aren't there.
I don't want to write it off. Like, and sometimes Bitcoin does that when people are most skeptical of it, right? Like, I've seen so many people talk about like new paradigm. It's different now. Bitcoin is slow and stupid.
There you go. This is important. This is an important trading term that you need to know. I'm shocked you aren't familiar with it.
That's basically like people that see fractals.
Yeah, anytime I talk about chart patterns, people are like, "Oh, it's just pareidolia."
Yeah.
But I don't see what you're specifically talking about. But
It's partly
bullish
what
on
you see
dominance.
and partly what you feel in your body. I just feel in my body as someone who's been obliterated by Bitcoin dominance before.
Uh huh.
I just it's like a dog when they know the storm is coming. And they start barking at the clouds. That's how I feel.
All right. Dominance does look good. It's still double bottoming. It's still above the 50. Um, yeah. Like this could go from 50 to 60 really quick, I think, on dominance.
And that would crush a lot of altcoins, like crush.
Well, it would crush the BTC pairs, yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't. The other thing about people in alts is I
They
don't
don't
think they
care.
care. They only care about the relative value of the alt when it's going up. They don't care about the relative value when it's going down.
We really need like we really need an up in USD season. It's healthy for the ecosystem. It really is. It's better for your altcoins in the long term. We need Bitcoin to take over. What I'm not
I haven't heard you say that maybe ever. I'm shocked right now. I'm shocked.
we need Bitcoin to take over, but we also like I'm not convinced that Bitcoin will take over relative to ETH, and I'm not sure. I just my Bitcoin conviction is being challenged by Ethereum looking very similar. Like,
Well, this ETH chart, ETH BTC chart, okay. Like, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I look at this more than I should because I trade
because you
both.
always talk about how you hate it.
I do hate it. I think I look at it a lot because I don't know what to think of it still. And it's like, I know there's something here, right? This is where the pareidolia kicks in. I know there's something here. It's a giant mess of garbage, but
Yep.
is it gonna morph into a cup and handle? Like on the daily, it could, right?
When it breaks out, it's going to be a move, one way or the other. And I thought it was breaking
What
down.
your analysis there, just
Yeah.
absolutely wow.
We'll
Just
see
wow.
when it broke down from wherever that line is at 0.067 or so. I thought it was over for ETH, and then it just did this. Oh, I'm just gonna keep expanding out this pattern, this consolidation range. Made you blink.
Because this could.
I know
here,
it's gonna,
right?
and that part I'd be in for that. Like you get to 0.079 and I'm riding to the 0.1 train, even though that's 20%. But that's a big relative move. There's nothing wrong with that.
That is definitely the level. Like if this breaks out from here, that's the level for sure. Everyone's going to be talking about that.
Oh, I remember the other question in the chat that I forgot about, and when I was scrolling back through. So I was like, if you were newer to crypto and didn't have as much money in crypto, would you still think that way about being in Bitcoin and Ethereum and being okay with those moves or whatever like that, rather than seeking upside with alts? My answer is yes, because you should play it the same way in either circumstance. Because you want to preserve your buying power for when it's more obvious.
I think you have to ask yourself, do I want to get rich quickly or get rich slowly? If you want to get rich slowly, do the responsible thing. And I would trade stuff that's pre-breakout. If you want to get rich quickly, if you want to scratch off lottery ticket, which is what a lot of people want to do, which is why they're trading SHIB, why they've traded GME, AMC, Tesla, whatever. You're just going to ape into anything you want to, trade. That's fine. You can make money. You can feel good about that. It's not a bad thing. But
now I'm
for
fine.
people who've
I'm
been
fine
around,
buying those altcoins. I'm just saying the way to get rich quickly is know when to buy those altcoins. If you don't take into consideration where you are in the cycle, then it's going to be harder. So it's still the quick way is to know when to trade the majors and know when to trade the small caps and try to time those rotations when it's obviously not the best time because it's up 6,000% or whatever. Then that's not a way to get rich quick. It's a way to get poor quicker. You're reducing your buying power.
well, the integer bias plays a big role in that too, because people see the integer bias, which they translate subconsciously into percentages for upside, right? So if they look at BTC at 65 or whatever it is now, 62.
Yeah, you're like, I got 0.2 BTC. I need 1. I need 2. I need 10. Whatever.
Right. People don't think of the P&L in percentage terms. They think of it as like absolute units anyway. So
if Bitcoin goes to 100K and Sol goes to 100, your buying power of Sol has increased dramatically. Versus what are you asking for? Are you asking for Sol, which has gone from $20 to $200 in a matter of months? You're asking for it to go to what? 300, 400, 500? What's the moon for you?
Well, that's always my question for these people. Like,
the buying
where's
power,
your exit?
Yeah, and the buying, and where's your stop? The buying power component is not obvious currently on many of those trades where they're massively elevated, not only off their lows, but they're like mid-year stuff, or, you know, they're like since they last broke out. People are absolutely euphoric about where Solana is. Let me put it this way. I am euphoric about where Solana is. And guess what?
Sorry, I had to let that sit for a minute with that pregnant pause. Just let people take that in.
In this moment, I am. People don't realize that I own Solana. I just don't have control over selling it. I think the people who do have that control are insane, but it's made me a lot of money for their iron hands.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be trading Solana here, but I didn't trade it.
If I had control, I would be the dumper. Yes, I would. I would dump Solana right now. That's not to say it won't go higher. It could go to 500. It could go to 1,000. But you have no idea how much money the big money has made on Solana. They can dump on you. They are in control of your fate.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and I 100% agree. Like, so where could Sol go? Let's like, I always start with a multiplier these days. I just love, like, if it looks this good on backtesting, yeah, I wouldn't expect anything more than 400, which is a 2x from here.
Yeah.
I think.
But what if it breaks down? And this is the first USD. I don't know.
Bro, I'm buying a lottery ticket here. Okay, if it breaks down, I don't care. You know, just let me think I'm doing the right thing by buying Solana and hoping for a 2x.
Do this with Sol BTC. Same chart.
What is it from here?
Tell me this doesn't look like Link when we started making fun of it for being topped out.
I mean, it definitely looks worse than the USD pair. It looks just boring and nothing to me.
Well, you've really stretched it out too. Like if you look at that on a different view, like it's up tremendously. Or if you like do the calculation of how much it's up.
What, from from January, it's still up 7,000%. I agree. Like, what do people want, right? But the new people getting in don't see that it's up 7,000%. They see that all these people are talking about it and it can go so much higher, you know? I don't know. I think the people that need like a reality check aren't the people that are going to get it with anything we have to say.
Like even if you just go to August, when it broke up from a long consolidation, it's up 260% relative to Bitcoin. So for every one Bitcoin that somebody put into this, they now have 260% of those. So 3.6, or I don't know if I calculated that right. You know what I mean, though. They have a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. Sol's, that's not for me. I mean, there's a lot of charts that look like this, though. FTM, Terra. I don't know. There are people who love that stuff. Let them trade it.
Can we talk about some real pumpamental coins is what we've been asked.
I'm not going to try to talk them out of it.
Now, okay, sure.
See, Doge Maxi, this is a perfect thing. Like, we just talked about the exact opposite of pumpamental coins, where it's like the integer for most people is going to be low because they can only buy a fraction of a BTC or a fraction of ETH or a couple ETH, right? And so they're going to think, I don't want that. I want 10,000 SHIB, right? So, like, there's nothing that we can say that's going to change their mind, you know?
Curve, good example. Looks like it's breaking out. one of the only things out there in my mind that looks good and has a fundamental narrative as well, being hoovered up. Looks like it's going to $10 to me. I think that would probably align with ETH going to 6K. So you have to determine whether that's worth it to you. I don't know if it'll outperform ETH significantly, but I personally think it has a chance of outperforming and a relatively small chance of underperforming dramatically. Relative to Bitcoin, it looks like it's breaking out significantly. I've talked about this one a lot. I have a bag. Not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying, to me, this looks like the type of chart I would rather trade on a Bitcoin and ETH relative basis, plus USD, all of the things align for me, plus the fundamentals, yada, yada. To me, it looks like Curve's breaking out and has a lot of upside. So that's like one of the only ones where I'm interested in.
The key for me with that chart would be, what does the breakout consolidation look like immediately after it breaks out? Like, there's no doubt in my mind that chart's going up, but after that, what does it look like, right? Is it a flag? Is it an ascending triangle? Whatever. But yeah, that's definitely.
I think it's gonna look like about 3 or 4 weeks of candles, straight up, to end the year.
I mean, we'll see. It's just hard to be bullish on BTC and all these alts.
Somebody brought up Secret. That's a fun one to consider, because if you like the soul narrative,
you scrolled past it.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I have too many things on my watch list. There it is. If you like the soul narrative, then I think what's the next some network that has a chance to do something? Secret just made all-time highs relative to 2018, the last cycle. So that's interesting.
Which one's Secret?
Secret Network. It's on the Cosmos ecosystem, but it's like a privacy-compatible smart contract chain. Oh,
so, optional privacy? Is that what you're saying?
Not optional. Privacy by default with their smart contracts.
Okay.
But it also looks like it might do price exploration versus ETH. This is one of those where it's not. I'm not personally looking at it as like this is my spot to buy, but if it doesn't just turbocharge straight up and it consolidates at the highs and then like sits there at the ceiling, I might want to punt some on it.
So this to me looks like Curve.
Yeah.
Post breakout.
This did what Curve looks like it's about to do.
And one other thing you could do, like let's say you're watching Curve right now, right? Like one other thing you could do is wait for the breakout. Let's say you buy some pre-breakout, you buy some on the breakout, and then you save some for this support retest.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, if I was trading that chart, that's exactly what I'd be doing.
That's exactly what I did on Curve.
Okay, perfect. See, we're just that good together. Yeah. What I would be watching for on Secret or Curve later would be, what does this look like up here, right? Because if it starts to bear div and tire out, then that's what you don't want. One thing I'll bring out too is the silver chart, very similar. Not because it's silver. Let me pull up the chart I have. Sorry, somewhere. Not because it's silver, but because the chart is exactly the same mentality. Like to get your mindset of what are my like outs here if this thing starts to dump and look like junk.
Yeah, it can consolidate longer than you anticipate. It might not move immediately. It could break down from that consolidation.
That's why coffee and accumulation, textbook, blah, blah, blah. Curve doesn't look completely textbook, but it's basically accumulation. Curve could break out like this, not retest support, right? Like Secret did. Curve doesn't have to do that, obviously. But and then after this breakout, what does it look like? This looked like an ascending triangle. This looked really good for bullish continuation, but that didn't happen, right? So I think a lot of people just see this breakout and get excited and whatever, and then end up getting trapped when they get a little too complacent and just assume this can just keep going, right? I like Curve 10 to 20, but it's important to see what it looks like at like 15, 11 to 15. Like what does Curve look like on the USD pair? But yeah, that's what I'd be watching as far as the setup for those breakouts against BTC.
Yeah, I like that.
And then everything against ETH real quick. What's the worst looking ETH chart?
Wi-Fi.
EOS. Let's look at. No, I think EOS is actually worse. I could be wrong, but let me see.
Oh,
So like EOS looks like absolute garbage. Fundamentals are garbage. You never held this over ETH. Like there's no reason to ever think about trading this.
This is
against
going
ETH, right?
from 0 to 0.
But if you want to trade this, right, what is your setup? That's
It's
for a lot of people.
It reclaims that level that it capitulated from.
At
0.00121513. Yeah, right there.
Down here?
Yeah, if it reclaims that, then maybe. But I have zero interest in ever owning this, ever. It's a zombie coin. EOS has entered zombie territory.
I don't disagree, but as an exercise, as a trading exercise for yourself,
Yeah.
I would start to look at weird pairs like this and just see like, where would I actually want to buy this, right? Do I want to buy the falling knife? No. Do I want to wait for RSI to be at mega oversold? Yes. Like, do I want a bull div? Yes, right? So I'd be doing that with everything on both sides of it. Because the more you just do this on stuff you don't even end up trading, the more you'll just be ready to just know what to do when you see it on stuff you do trade.
Yep.
That's my soapbox. It's my trading soapbox.
I think it's fine. A lot of altcoins are just sitting here at 200-day moving averages versus the dollar and getting wrecked versus the relative pairs. Zcash is almost always getting wrecked on relative pairs, but you can see it's an example of one that, I mean, if this was a stock, I'd be like, ooh, that's interesting. What's happening here? But it's not a stock. It's having to compete against stuff that performs really well. Comp, very similar, been sideways. A bunch of this DeFi stuff is in this category. Sushi is one of the more interesting ones to me, but it's like, I mean, gosh, this is just pain. Topped in February. It looks like it might do okay here from a dollar perspective, but this is one where I look at it and I think eventually I'm going to double my money and maybe quadruple my money, because if it goes to price expiration, it's going to double again. In the meantime, it just gets obliterated. I mean, look at these times. You can see where I like tried to draw kind of relative opportunities before, and then it eventually broke down and down, and you got to see where can it bottom again. It can take a long time for Sushi to do anything. It's just really hard. I mean, Wi-Fi. This is almost as bad as that EOS chart that you shared. That's bad.
Yeah, that's definitely on par.
That's from, it topped at 105, 110. Yeah, 110 ETH per Wi-Fi. Yeah, ETH per Wi-Fi, and now it's 8. So on a relative basis, down over 90%. Wi-Fi is
fundamentally that makes sense. Like for me, that coin is worthless. I love the protocol. I say this all the time. I love the protocol. I use it. It's great. The coin makes 0 sense to me.
Doge Maxi says utility is coming for Wi-Fi. I don't know what that utility is, but I'd love to learn. Let me know. We'll talk about it sometime on the show.
That's why I'd rather just trade the technicals. Like,
yeah,
fundamentals could be coming for that, but until I see it on the chart, I could care less. Right? It just doesn't matter. It literally does not matter.
When the main pair, so if it's based on ETH and ETH looks like this, I'd rather own this all day. ETH dominance is something I wish we had more stats on. And Bitcoin dominance. We need custom dominance indexes for ETH and BTC relative to their ecosystems and relative to all altcoins. I want BTCD relative to kind of a basket of like 20 or 30 or 40 coins that are a diversified portfolio of crypto, and call that dominance, non-stable coins. And I want ETH dominance relative to the ETH ecosystem. That's what I want. Somebody says flip metrics product. Probably so. I just think that'd be very valuable.
I would like that. I don't know how long we've been, but one last thing I just want to say. Charts that look like Uni, Bancor, and Stellar. These are the charts I like because they look like garbage. They all look like garbage, but they all look like they're coming out of an inverted head and shoulders Kuma breakout potential cloud thing, right? This is just saying, based on the cloud, these things have consolidated for long enough to finally have an actual run again. So, you might hate the coins individually. That's fine. I'm just saying on the technicals, I like this.
I think these are going to be the ones that fulfill, like, this is what I waited on in 2017. I was out of Bitcoin and into alts way too early. And then it was in stuff like this, just waiting. And it was like Bitcoin just went ballistic through the holidays, and I'm just sitting here waiting, getting obliterated on the relative pairs. And I think all of these are going to absolutely turbo pump, but not until Bitcoin and ETH, Bitcoin or ETH, Bitcoin and ETH, I don't know which, are done. When they're done, they go ballistic. But ETH and BTC aren't done because they're beginning.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I'm just saying, like, if you're trading alts, I would trade alts that look like this and not anything else.
Yep.
Look for the pre-breakout. Look for the breakout potential. You don't want to be buying lows right now. That's not where we're at in the cycle.
Thanks for being here. Talk to y'all later. Go to laterstats.com to get the replays and all that good stuff. See you later. Bye-bye.
Monuments crumble in the blink of an eye. The easy river has just run dry. In a house of cards, I feel the breeze wound so tight.